This set is so nice, I built it twice. It is a stunning set that belongs in every LEGO collection. But is it a good set for somebody who is not a Harry Potter fan? I'm so excited to share this with you. First, we're going to get into my rating, my review, some final thoughts, and you'll be on your way to the next video. Let's get right to it. I do my ratings on a number of metrics to help you figure out if this set is right for you. Skill 7 out of 10. For my true beginners, I honestly buy this set. Do a few builds first, come back to it. For my beginners, you can do this. It's going to be hard though. For my intermediate and advanced builders, if you've done Neuschwanstein, this is going to feel very similar. And I'm sorry, I know I'm not saying it right. I cannot get it right for the life of me. Skill-wise, this is very similar. I rated this a 7 out of 10 and I rated Neuschwanstein at an 8 out of 10. Part of that is because of how big it is. I bumped this one down because it's not nearly as big as Neuschwanstein. It still is long at 2,600 pieces, so that shouldn't be underestimated. This was the biggest build I'd ever done prior to Disney Castle, so it still is long, but there's definitely bigger. Aesthetics 9 out of 10. I look at this metric like grade, so a 9 out of 10 is still an A, but not a perfect 100%. There's like one minor thing that bothers me about this set, but I think it just might be like a personal preference thing. There's a lot that I liked on this one. There's a lot of references to the actual Harry Potter franchise on here that I thought were in there and were perfect. You have all these rooms down below. You have the Whomping Willow. You have the vessels of the two other ships. Well, not ships, the two other vehicles of how the other schools got there for the Triwizard Tournament. There's a lot on this that is really iconic, and I'm really happy that they chose to include. This thing to me, honestly, feels like an architecture set, and definitely a lot of care went into making sure this was phenomenal. I really love the rock work on here, and the waterfall is absolutely incredible, and the bridge that goes over it, chef's kiss. I also really love that they included a path up to the school from the boathouse. It's just tiny details like this that totally make this set. There's a lot of unique pieces in here, and I really love the way that they use them. The color choices are perfect. It looks great. Some things where I think they could have gone wrong with the set but made the choice not to, which I appreciate, is they could have added stickers, but instead we got printed pieces. The water down here could have been completely empty, but I'm really happy that they put in the boat from the Triwizard Tournament. I also have come to really not like those little minifigs from the mini Diagon Alley, and I'm happy this one doesn't have it. I also think the design of the waterfall could have gone terribly, but they did a really good job with that. The one thing I don't like with this set is in some of those green areas, there's a little bit too much exposed brick for me. I don't really like those studs being out, and I know it's got to be there in some points, but I really wish that more was done to cover that. Durability 8 out of 10. Every single time I hold up a set like this, that's this many pieces in one hand, people kind of get freaked out, but genuinely, I feel totally fine with this. I wouldn't necessarily like throw it or try to knock it off of a shelf intentionally, but generally when you're handling it and moving it around, it's pretty stable. Now there are little pieces like the tops of here that can be knocked off super easily, and I do not want to discount that, but overall I feel like it's totally fine. I mean, you can see I'm holding this up with one hand. It's okay. Value 8 out of 10. I do this metric only based off the price per brick. By the way, I'll call them bricks and pieces interchangeably. I'm so sorry about that. There are two main factors that can affect a set's price per brick. One is licensed IP. Obviously, this is a Harry Potter set, so yeah, licensed IP. The other one is custom pieces. Now, I didn't really catch many of that in here besides the custom printed one. There is a little bit of it with like the door and the window pieces, but besides that, I feel like it's pretty free of them. This set costs $169.99 and has 2,660 bricks, which means we get an 8-cent price per brick. For a licensed IP, I am so happy with that. That's incredible, and honestly, like, very stoked. Time 3 out of 10. I only do this metric based off of how many bricks I was placing per hour on average with this set relative to my normal average. Normally, I'll average anywhere from 350 to like 425-ish bricks per hour, excluding techniques, because those are a whole nother beast. This one had 2,660 bricks and took me 6 hours and 43 minutes, meaning I was placing 307 bricks per hour, which is not great. It's pretty below my average. I'm guessing it has to do with the amount of small pieces in here. I felt like it was going fast, but clearly it wasn't. I remember the first time I did this was like a multi-day project as I could not handle building this much at once, but also I think it took me like 10 hours. So I've gotten a lot faster with it, but I was surprised it was so low. Joy 9 out of 10. This set to me reads like an architecture set, and I love architecture sets. But like 100%, I've seen Harry Potter and I thought it was good, but I definitely don't even know if I would call myself much of a fan because I've seen the movies. I thought they were good, but like, yeah, beyond the basic details, I don't really have that much knowledge. But to me, this one really reminds me of the architecture sets that I absolutely love. Overall, A tier. I feel like this one has broad appeal and most AFOLs would absolutely love this set. The price is fantastic. It looks incredible. Overall, it was a really great build. Not that LEGO doesn't usually put a lot of care into their creations, but you can tell extra went into this one, and it's super noticeable. Let's talk about it. This set is 22 bags, and I would say it has sections. Each booklet is one section. JK, I'll elaborate a bit more. Bags 1 through 11 are the first booklet, and it's the Hogwarts grounds. Bags 12 through 22 are the Hogwarts castle buildings, except for one tiny caveat. The Whomping Willow is in bag 22, which I'd count as more of the grounds, but really besides that, the sections are pretty set. So I mentioned earlier that I did this set twice, and I wanted to explain. You might know that I started up my channel in November of last year, but I've been really interested in LEGO for a long time. Long time is kind of relative though, because compared to some people, I'm pretty new to LEGO. For quick reference, I started my LEGO journey in 2022-ish, which to me feels like a long time, but realistically is not. I just really love it, and I've thrown myself into the hobby, so I have a lot of sets for someone who has only been collecting for a little over 3 years. I remember when this set came out because, and I didn't know it yet, but I love architecture sets, and I was totally enthralled by this set. I literally remember checking multiple times when it was releasing. I remember watching loads of review videos about this set. Truly, this was a game-changing set for me, and I had to have it. At the time, I'd barely watched Harry Potter for the first time, so I wasn't a massive fan or anything. However, this set looked so amazing, I had to get my hands on it. Luckily for me, I have a very nice father-in-law who got this set for me based off of my husband's recommendation, which was like insane. To be honest, before this year, I think this was my favorite LEGO set of all time. I think it's really hard for me at this point to pick a favorite, but for sure, this is a top contender for me. For me, this has always been a set that was missing from my reviews, so when a friend gifted it to me, I knew I had to make the video. I couldn't do a set tour in June and talk about one of my favorite sets being this set and not have a review video about it. This set won't retire for a year, but I think it's one that if you are a LEGO architecture fan, you need to get your hands on. It's funny how after doing Neuschwanstein, how much I recognize the building techniques across both sets. Right now, where we are at in the build is a great example of what I mean. Like the very real Neuschwanstein castle, Hogwarts is also set up kind of on the top of that bit of a hill/cliff, and I noticed the technique for building that in Hogwarts Castle was pretty much the same. To be honest, it felt weirdly familiar to me when I did Neuschwanstein, but I didn't know why until doing the set again. They are, by the way, two entirely different shapes, to be clear. They are very different sets, but some of the techniques to build them are similar. Like this one has water, which really reminds me of the technique for Trevi Fountain. It's not 100% the same, but it is similar in the way that we use darker pieces as we go out further from the shore. Also, using different LEGO brick colors under the waterfall to create a bit of depth was also something we did for Trevi. The boats that we built in the last bag is also very similar to the boats in the Pyramid of Giza set. That's probably where the comparisons on that set end though. I still haven't done Himeji, and I also don't see much similarity between this one and the Statue of Liberty. But I do feel like, in my own roundabout way of saying this is kind of an undercover architecture set. I do have some Harry Potter sets, but usually if I'm getting them, it's because there's like 2 or 3 things about the set that are really appealing to me. For one, I loved the whole scaled down model of the whole I don't know how to say this better. Hogwarts Castle and Grounds. In retrospect, I love the architecture sets, and this appeals to me in the same way. I had just watched the movies, which was fun, and I liked them, but not enough to spend $170 on the set. But a scaled down version, I'm totally for. I also think it's my love for architecture sets for why I'm so interested in this set, but not the ones that are to scale with minifigures. I saw the big Diagon Alley one and was like, it's cool, then I don't know. Until we got the mini that looked more like an architecture set. I do have a review of that one as well, by the way. If you're interested, I can link that down below. So you know how some sets have 2 themes? A great example is the Lightning McQueen Speed Champion set that is coming in January, but it's also in the Disney theme/category. I want to start a petition to add this to the architecture category too. Not actually, because a petition should probably be for something more serious, but like LEGO, can you add it there? I genuinely say if you enjoy Neuschwanstein, besides those arch window pieces, you'll really enjoy this set. It reads like an architecture set and has some of the same techniques and honestly is a great time. Speaking of which, I do think we got more of these because it's a licensed IP set, but I love all the little fun facts and explanations of what we're building throughout the process. I knew it was coming on these and remembered some of it from before, so you will see me move past those bits pretty fast during the build. However, if you get this set, I really cannot recommend enough that you should take the time to read them because it makes the whole building process a lot of fun. Because I'm not a super fan of Harry Potter, it was nice for the team to add in so many details because I'd build something and then read the booklet and go, oh, I remember this. I'm really happy that they chose to include Blink in this build. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely did make the booklets a lot bigger, but I did appreciate it. Speaking of which, my last video was an off-brand Lego set. While I will still hold to the quality not being 100% the same, I did have some things that I really liked about it. Like the booklet felt a lot more efficient because they condensed a lot of the steps down on the same page. Not a crazy amount where it was harder to do the steps, but if you've built any Lego set that has come out over the last 2 years, you definitely have seen a bit of an abundance of steps that definitely could be condensed. For example, and I swear it happened several times during this exact build, you'll have steps that are only 1 or 2 bricks, which when there's 2 booklets that combine for almost 500 pages, those page turns are slowing me down. In the first booklet, and if you want the visual, I'll give you the step numbers. On step 215, we get a double tall 3-stud piece, and in the next step, 216, we place 2 bricks on top of it. For the life of me, I don't understand why this wasn't 1 step. Lego does this, by the way, where they'll show you how to assemble a few pieces together if you're stacking bricks in 1 step. I will say, Lego breaks up steps a lot, but in this set in particular, it's kind of atrocious how many steps in here are broken up. Also, just want to say, if this is my critique of the set, it's a pretty dang good set. Likely, if that's something you've never noticed with Lego sets before, it won't bother you. But once you notice it, and it does start to bother you a bit, it definitely will get a bit annoying to you in sets, and this one is no exception. The only reason I could imagine why they do this is simply to make less confusion. There are a lot of people who are new to the hobby, and potentially they break up steps more to make it easier for them. I will say, if that's the reason why, I'll rescind my critique. When I did this set the first time, I had not done nearly as many sets, and this definitely was at least double the amount of pieces of any set I had done before. It did make it a lot easier the first go, and it might just be that I build so much, I want condensed steps. Have you noticed this at all, by the way, and have any theories on it? I couldn't find a solid answer online besides people speculating like me. Also, please let me know if that bothers you. I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts. Maybe I'm being a bit dramatic. I definitely will say, if so, that's not the first time I've been a bit dramatic about something. I did really enjoy the set, and I definitely do have some thoughts on if you might too. But before that, I really want to say quickly, thank you so much for watching the videos until this point. It helps me out so much, and as a small channel, it really means the world to me. So I just want to say thank you. Let's talk about who I think would be perfect for this set. Okay. I think somebody who likes castles. I think somebody who likes architecture. I think somebody who likes mini-scale models. And I think obviously the Harry Potter fan this is perfect for. So I feel like if you fall into any of those, I would really strongly consider it. I was really drawn to this set, and I didn't know architecture that well, and I didn't know Harry Potter that well at that point. I mean, still don't, but like I really had a good time with it. So if you're feeling drawn to this at all, I would consider it. And I feel like price-wise for Lego, this isn't terrible. I mean, it's up there, but it's not terrible. So definitely if you feel drawn to it, but you've got time to make that decision. So I think it's a great set and I would do it, but you make that decision for yourself. Okay, I'm putting this down. Yeah, so anyways, again, just thank you so much for watching the video to this point. It seriously helps me out so much. I recently hit 7,000 subscribers and I want to say thank you guys so much for that. I would love to hit 10K by the end of the year. So if you wouldn't mind tapping that subscribe button, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, I also have a haul coming up very shortly of October 1st, which is actually going to be a birthday haul for me. So I'm pretty stoked. So if you want to see what I'm going to be buying, I'd highly recommend you tune into that one. I also want to say an extra special thank you to my channel members. I am so appreciative of each and every one of you, so thank you so much. And with that said, I will see you guys next time. Okay, bye!